Okay, thanks very much, Candy Crowley. Dole should take some solace in the fact that he put a dent in Arkansas, a Republican in the Senate there for the first time.
That's right, and those raw numbers nationally are still coming in. Larry King and Bob Woodward, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And joining us from the Majority Leader's office here in Washington is Trent Lott, the Senate Majority Leader. Trent, thanks for joining us. Bob and I were talking during the break. We have figured it out. With Newt Gingrich's kind of diminished popularity, you are the most powerful elected Republican in the United States. Do you wish to comment?
Well, first, I'm glad to be with you, Larry, especially when you start talking like that. But right now, I'm excited. I think we're going to not only hold our majority, it looks like we may actually increase our majority some with that announcement in Arkansas and with the fact that maybe there was a premature call in New Hampshire and that Bob Smith may, in fact, have been elected. But it does look like, in spite of the valiant efforts of Bob Dole, the marathon man did close the gap as far as the popular vote goes. It looks like Bill Clinton will be reelected, making it even more important as we move throughout the country and out west that the people make an extra effort, go to the polls, make sure that we have a majority in the Congress so that we can make sure that Bill Clinton did keep his word, or does keep his word, then when he's been talking about how he wanted to do what we want to do, less government, less taxes, we want to make sure he has a chance to live up to that.
Do we have then, is the public saying we want a continued kind of stalemate hyphen gridlock?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think what they saw in the latter part of the year was progress being made and some cooperation. I think when we went out, the 104th Congress turned out to have the highest favorable rating of any Congress in 10 years. I think the people saw we kept our word. We did apply all the federal laws to ourselves and passed welfare reform, and we passed illegal immigration reform. We did work with the president where we could, and we made some real progress. And I think maybe the people saying, well, we think there was good progress made. We'd like to keep that majority in the Congress, and if Bill Clinton's going to be reelected, we really want to keep them there so that they can make sure he doesn't return to the old Bill Clinton of big government and a big tax increase.
So is this a night of mixed emotions for you?
It is mixed emotions because, you know, Bob Dole worked so hard, and I'd love to have seen him win and had a majority in the Congress to work with him. I've got some friends that I've made that may not have been elected or reelected, and I regret that. But there's a certain amount of euphoria, too, because I know we've got good people coming into the Senate with Jeff Sessions and Tim Hutchinson in Arkansas and Chuck Hagel in Nebraska. I'm still pulling for Gordon Smith out there in Oregon as a really fine candidate for the Senate. So it's a mixed emotion, but I'm excited. It looks like I will still be in the majority and the majority leader in the Senate.
Senator, real quickly, what does Dole now have to say in defeat to the public?
I'm sure Bob will do a magnificent job. I know that he will express appreciation for all the people in Kansas and throughout the country that have supported him so many times in races over the past many years. And I think, you know, he will just express appreciation and no regrets. I know Bob well enough to know that he'll just suck it up and he'll move forward.
Will it be all high road? Will he take the high road on this?
Absolutely high road. That's the only way he and Elizabeth Dole would do it.
Are you interested in the presidency?
I'm interested in being reelected as majority leader and doing the best job we can for the next 2 years for the people's agenda that they have expressed to us this year.
Thanks, Trent. Senator Trent Lott, the Senate Majority Leader, Republican of Mississippi. Still to come, Henry Cisneros. Bob Woodward's our co-host, and don't forget, stay right here at CNN. We'll keep you posted throughout the night. Don't go away. We're going to go to Little Rock in a moment with Henry Cisneros. First, another question for Bob Woodward, though. You were talking during the break about the mystery now. What's the mystery now?
Well, all kinds of things. We don't know what Clinton's really thinking. Wouldn't you like to be able to have him here and say, what do you feel? What's going through your mind? The other big mystery, what's he going to do in a second term? What is his real agenda? Is he going to be a centrist? Is he going to be more of a traditional Democrat? And then the third mystery, which I'm sure is the one that he is living day and night, is what about all the investigations, FBI files, Whitewater?
With the Republican Senate, you know that's going to happen. All right, maybe the answer will come from the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Henry Cisneros. What kind of 4 years are you going to have, Henry?
Well, Larry, I think it's going to get off to a very solid start because the president has been president for 4 years, and he knows where all the mechanics of how to move the White House, how to relate to the national press, how to get through the American people. So I think you're going to see a sure-footedness that maybe wasn't there in the first term, because nothing can prepare you for the cauldron that is the presidency of the United States.
Do you want to stay on?
Larry, that's something I'll discuss with the president later in the week. I'd love to stay on, but it has to be balanced off against considerations, family, personal obligations, and we'll cross that bridge. Tonight is a night for celebration, and there's a lot to celebrate.
Tony Bennett, is that Tony Bennett behind you?
That's Tony Bennett in the background, and he's really got this crowd fired up. He followed Kathy Mattea, and it's going to be a just celebration all evening.
Are you disappointed in the Senate results so far?
Well, I think we'd have liked to have seen more progress in terms of taking back those key Senate seats. Lost a couple that I had actually thought we would win, like Nebraska, where Governor Nelson was up for a long time. But the key thing tonight, obviously, for supporters of the president, is he's running very strong. Winning Florida, for example, for the first time in many years, 20 years, is a plus. Ohio, Missouri, a lot of other states. And of course, I still believe we've got a chance to win the House. I'm not in position to hear all of the House returns, but I'm hopeful we can win the House.
Bob Woodward wants you to ask you something.
Sure.
Sir, have you heard from the president directly on what his plans? Do you have any clues about what his plans are for the second term?
Yes, he has talked on a number of occasions in small groups and private groups with the cabinet and others about some of his priorities. I think that one of the things you'll see is the continued emphasis on jobs and sustaining the economy. And part of that will be to try to create jobs for people who are affected by the signing of the welfare bill. I think in this administration you'll see a good deal more emphasis on people from distressed neighborhoods and people who are coming off of welfare. The president believes that having taken a welfare check away from people in due course, it is necessary to provide them with the opportunity to get training as well as a paycheck. And so he'll be calling on corporations to come up with a way to do that.
He said he would change that or fix it. He's not going to do it with a Republican House and Senate, is he?
Well, I think there will be limitations on how much can be fixed, and it just puts that much more emphasis on dealing with the economy, corporations, mayors and cities about working on jobs. The other priority I think you'll see with renewed emphasis is education. I have heard him say that he believes the single most important thing an American president can do to prepare people for the uncertainties of the future for the next century is focus on education. So training, schools, scholarships, computers, all of those things that truly empower people to fend for themselves, whatever turn the country takes.
Are you going to go up and see him now?
As a cabinet, we'll see him as a group in a few moments, just before he comes out and makes his acceptance. And I'm sure he's going to be a very, very happy man. And frankly, many people here feel like this is a team effort, because although he has been the leader up front, the president, people like Warren Christopher and Leon Panetta and Bob Rubin and members of the White House and the cabinet have all done a superb job of governing so that there was a record to take out, and I'm sure he's going to express his appreciation for that.
The whole cabinet is there in Little Rock?
Yes, most of the cabinet is here. I don't know that it's absolutely every person, but most have converged here from points around the country and the world to be with the president tonight. This is a very congenial cabinet. I don't know whether you've noticed, but we've not had the elbowing and the sharp, sort of conflicts that have characterized other cabinets. And he selected a congenial group, but he's also emphasized that he wanted us to work in that way. So we're real friends. There's a kind of a family feeling, and we all wanted to be with him tonight.
Can we say, Henry, on balance, based on your first statement, that you would stay on balance, or it's too close to call?
Larry, I think it's a close call.
If he said to you, Henry, I want you to stay.
Well, it's hard to look at the President of the United States when he says he wants you to stay, but, let's worry about that when I sit down with him and the rest of the cabinet members sit down with him. Right now, we want to celebrate tonight's victory.
Bob has one other quick question.
Sure.
There have been lots of investigations of Clinton and the administration. You yourself have been subjected to one of them. Does that take the joy out of this victory a little bit, maybe 10%, maybe 1%?
It takes 0%. The president has won a big victory. It's an affirmation. To be elected president is a tremendous thing. It's a great honor. To be reelected is an affirmation of a vision. It's not on the basis of promises or predictions or faith or hope, but on the basis of achievements and a record. And you can't take anything away from that. At least for tonight, it's all celebration and happiness and satisfaction.
Thanks, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Bob.
Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Henry Cisneros. We'll go to break and come back with our remaining moments with Bob Woodward, our co-anchor. Tony Bennett has just finished singing. We'll come back, and don't forget, Bernie, Judy, and the whole gang will be back at the top of the hour. And George Stephanopoulos and others will be with us tomorrow night. And by the way, David Brinkley will be with us on Thursday night and Al Pacino Friday. We'll be right back.
Davis Jr. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of green, for purple mountain majesties above thy fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to